Hello and welcome. Today we're working on sum of the year's digits depreciation. Now this is one of the methods in accounting, and so we're going to show two different examples, one with a full year, one with a partial year. So let's get started. My name's Jeff from Finally Learn, where I help you finally learn financial skills like depreciation and Excel. So let's talk about depreciation expense just for a minute. The accounting definition is we're allocating cost of a fixed asset over its useful life. So we're trying to figure out the depreciation expense, and that depreciation expense reduces income and income taxes. Now I've done two videos prior to this, one on straight line, one on double declining balance. So this is the sum of the year's digits, one of the methods in depreciation. Now there's a business concept that's just called depreciation that is the trying to figure out the value of an asset. So here's how you remember it. Accounting is allocation and business is valuation. So if you're trying to figure out the depreciation expense, that's the accounting definition. If you're looking at the fair value, that is the business definition. Now, depreciation is the idea where you have wear and tear on these assets, you have age, you have obsolescence, so on. So let's get into our first problem. I've completed this, but let's start from the very first thing. Let's start from scratch. Okay, so let's say we have a purchase date on January 1. This truck is $165,000 and the salvage value is $15,000 over 5 years. Now, the sum of the year's digits is the idea where we have n times n plus 1 divided by 2. So that is 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, and that would be 15. But there's a little formula you can do it. You can just say 5 times 5 plus 1, so that's 5 times 6, divided by 2, so 30 divided by 2 is 15. So let's help illustrate this concept. We're going to have 5 over 15, 4 over 15, 3 over 15, 2 over 15, and 1 over 15. That will be 15 over 15, or if you convert it to percentages, that's 100%. So what we're going to do is use this rate every time. So we're going to have a 5-year, 4-year, 3-year, 2-year, 1 year, and we're going to have the depreciation rate. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 5 divided by the 15, and I'm going to come up with a percentage. So I'm going to make this absolute. So 5 divided by 15, this is 33%. So we know this percentage, so I'm going to get this percentage just in my table. I want to put this table, so that's 4 divided by 15, 3 divided by 15, 2 divided by 15, and so on. So what's our depreciation expense? Well, how do we get our depreciable base? Well, it is 165,000 minus the 15,000, and then I copy that all the way down. All right, so what is our depreciation? 150,000 times the 5 over 15, which is 33%, so that's 50,000. I'm going to take the 150,000 times 26.7%. Now, that really is probably 26 2/3. So 26 and the 6 repeats. So be careful on that. If you're using a calculator, make sure you use at least go to 2 decimals if you're doing a percentage. So that's 4 decimals on your calculator. So it's 0.3333 or 0.2666. So we can do that one more, and then I'll copy it down. 150,000 times the 20%. And we can just copy this down now because we have the pattern. And so what we have each year, I'm going to add this up, 150,000. Each year, we're going to have a smaller and smaller number depreciation. So this is also an accelerated method. Remember, straight line is the same amount each year. Double declining balance is an accelerated method, and sum of the year's digits is an accelerated method. So let's show accumulated depreciation. So the first year, 2021, it's just going to be 50,000. And then the second year, 2022, is going to be 50,000 plus the 40,000. That's 90,000. And then it goes up 30,000 to 120, and then another 20,000 to 140, and then another 10,000 to 150. So accumulated depreciation grows to 150. That's our depreciable base, which is the 165 minus the 15. So what is our book value? Our book value is always the cost. I'm going to make that absolute here and put dollar signs in front of it, minus the accumulated depreciation. The cost minus the accumulated depreciation gives us book value. So the ending book value after year 1 is $115,000, and then it goes down to $15,000. So that's how we do a schedule, a depreciation schedule or depreciation table using sum of the year's digits for a full year. Now, what is our first year depreciation entry? Well, it's going to be depreciation expense and accumulated depreciation. We're going to debit the $50,000, credit the $50,000. Year 2 would be $40,000, so on. Now, I did a little table. If this helps to think of it this way, you could say 150,000 times 5/15 gives you 50,000. 150,000 times 4/15 if you want to see the math on it. If you want to see it for a 10-year asset, if this happened to be a 10-year asset, then we would do 10 times 11 is 110 divided by 2, that's 55. So the fractions would be 10 over 55, 9 over 55, all the way down to 1 over 55. If you do the math, this is what it would look like. So you can kind of visualize what happens with these tables. Now, what if we have a partial year? So let me get rid of a lot of this here. What if we have a partial year and we have, instead of purchase on January 1st, we purchase on October 1st? Well, we still have the same calculations, and so what I've done, I've copied over 50,000, 40,000, 30,000, 20,000, and 10,000. We already know what those are. And so let's think about what we know. For 2021, how many months do we have in 2021? Well, there's only October, November, December. So that's 3 months. We've got all of 2022. So you're tempted to think, well, we have the same 5 years. Well, it's actually into the 6th calendar year. So we've got 9 months. We've got a partial year, 4 full years, and another partial year to equal those 60 months. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to take the 50,000. Only 3 months happen in October, November, December from 2021. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the 25%, or let's do it this way. We're going to take the 50,000 times the 25%. I'm going to make that absolute. Dollar signs in front of those. So that's 12,000 for that first year. How much do we have for the January through September? Well, 0. So this is going to be a 0 number there. So what's our total depreciation expense? Well, it's going to be $12,500 for that first year. Now, what do we do for year 2? Well, 2022, we still have January through September, we still have the 50,000. So we're going to take the 50,000 times the 75% and make that absolute value because I can copy that down. And then I can do the 40,000 times the 25%. And you see that's going to happen every time. So this would be, the first year is made up of 3 months in 2021 and 9 months in 2022. So let's add this up here. So that's 47,500. Now what we have the ability to do, we can just copy this down. This is going to be the same each of the years, and this is going to be the same for each of those years. So we can just add these up. And this is the annual depreciation, and that's going to be $150,000 total. I'll show you how to do the math here if you're not quite sure about how this works, but we're taking the 50,000 and splitting it into 3 months and 9 months, the 40,000, 3 months and 9 months, so on. So accumulated depreciation is going to be the $12,500 the first year, the $12,500 plus the $47,500, and it will grow. I can copy this down. And then the book value is going to be $165,000. I want to make it absolute there, minus the accumulated depreciation. So the book value goes down to $15,000. So this is how you do it. Now, what is our depreciation entry for the first year? Well, it's depreciation expense, $12,500, and accumulated depreciation for the truck, $12,500. If it was for the second year, it'd be $47,500. So here's what I've done. If that was a little confusing to you, here's what you need to do. The very first year is a $50,000. That's got to be for 12 months. So here's what you have to do. You have to take $50,000 times 3/12, and you get $12,500. 2022 is made up of $50,000, the remaining 9 months, $50,000 times 9 months, plus the $40,000 times 3 months. Then you've got 9 months at $40,000, 3 months at $30,000, 9 months at $30,000, so on. So you can stop the video here and just see how it works and do the math. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see the previous videos, see the link below in the description. You can see the straight line video and the double declining balance video. Thanks for watching.